She's an all-star soccer player, inspiring Americans on and off the field in every way. Crystal Dunn, known for being one of the most versatile, I know you hate that word, players in the sport, was the last one, sadly, to be cut from the U.S. World Cup team just 4 years ago. But she channeled that disappointment by scoring a league-high 15 goals as a professional in 20 matches, went on to the Rio Olympics, and is now heading to the 2019 FIFA Women's World Cup in June. Here with more on her journey, U.S. Women's National Team defender Crystal Dunn. You won an NCAA championship too, right?
I did.
And I have to say, as a Long Islander, everyone knows who Crystal Dunn is. So when you tried to achieve at the highest level, you got the call in 2015 from Jill Ellis. I didn't know they call you. I thought it was old-fashioned. They just post the team that made it.
No, they call.
And what happened?
It wasn't a good conversation, but it was as good as it can be. Obviously, it's not like the coach calls you and says, "You're terrible. We're not taking you." You know, it's more so, "Hey, you know, you played well up until this point. We think we're going to go a different route. We think we're, you know, this and this." And I think once I heard you're not going, I kind of like blacked out, and I was like, well, everything else you're going to say doesn't matter. Yes, unfortunately.
And then how did you decide to bounce back? You stay in the U.S. soccer program.
Yep,
you go
definitely.
back. They win the World Cup without you. Did you watch?
Yes, I did watch. It was painful, but mixed emotions. But of course, I had to watch, definitely.
Right. So you go back and you get on the team.
Yes.
And then what's happened in the over the next 3 years?
The next 3 years, it's competitive. You know, I think people don't realize this is not an ordinary team. It's not like club soccer. Every time you're in with the national team, it's basically like a tryout. You know, every camp is competitive. So for 3 years, basically been trying to fight to get a spot and make it to this next World Cup. And
now you're at the point where you are likely starter, certainly first off the bench. Some people watching right now might be thinking, I'm a forward, I'm a midfielder, I'm a back, I got to play one position.
Yes.
Not Crystal Dunn.
Nope.
You're known as versatile. Do you like that word?
Absolutely not. No, I'm just kidding. I love it because it's who I am. You know, I think there's definitely pros and cons to being thrown all over the pitch. But I think for me, it's built my identity, and it's fun. I get to play everything.
You get to play everything.
I get to
you
do
come
everything.
off the bench.
Exactly.
So what is it like? You're 2-1 favorites to repeat as World Cup champions. While the men struggle to qualify, the women are supposed to win the World Cup every year. You've been the best or among the best for about 30 years.
Yes.
So what are you thinking now? 2-1 odds to repeat.
I think our chances are great. You know, I think for us, it's taking one game at a time. The tournament is long. What people don't realize is it's a whole month-long tournament. You know, you have to just take it in stride and focus on the things in front of you. 20
years ago, the cover of Time magazine, every magazine, was Brandi Chastain scoring the penalty kick in front of 100,000 people at the Rose Bowl.
Yes.
Where were you? Well, you were a kid then.
I was a kid.
Yeah.
I was a kid, and I'm sad to say, but I actually didn't watch the game. But what I did notice was right after that game ended, just their pictures posted everywhere, you know, and I think that was so iconic for women's soccer because that was really when the world woke up and was like, whoa, women can play this sport.
Not only that, women are also attractive to sponsors.
Yes.
And that shows you. So you as an elite athlete with one of the world's best teams have hooked up with CVS in what way? Walgreens, excuse me.
Yeah. So I partnered with Walgreens because P&G and Walgreens actually, just to share beauty tips. You know, I think it's important. I live this completely wild life, always on the road, super busy, and it's just important to have, you know, your go-tos.
Yeah. Women's World Cup are going to be on Fox in 30-plus days.
Yes.
In your the qualifying group, you got one team that sticks out, a team that's won the World Cup before, Sweden.
Yes, Sweden. They're going to be tough. They're always tough. They give us their best game every time we play them. It's always tight down to PKs, or we win 1-0 or we tie, and it's going to be crazy. So, yeah.
There was the Abby Wambach generation. There was the Mia Hamm generation. How important is it for this generation to put their mark on it?
It's really important. There's a lot of people going in their first World Cup. So I think that's what really is different between this World Cup and the last World Cup is that we have a lot of young people, myself included. This would be my first World Cup, and I'm really excited. But, you know, everyone just needs to pull their weight and just go out and do their best.
Don't feel any pressure when you're in France. Just know the whole country will be watching.
Oh, I know.
The sports world stops and gives you guys the floor. Crystal Dunn, who also stars as a professional with Paul Riley's North Carolina team.
Yes.
Thanks, Chris. Congratulations on all your success. And go out to Walgreens and support women's sports.
Yes.
All right. Good job.